Okay, it's 11 o'clock, and I will call the June work session to order. Welcome our folks who are here in person and our folks who are watching online. It is now June. Clerk, would you kindly call the roll?
Mrs. Amos,
Here.
Mr. Cole,
Here.
Mr. Dwyer,
Here.
Mr. Hunter,
Here.
Mr. Parrott,
Here.
Mr. Reed,
Here.
Mr. Vincent.
Okay. Our first item is to request to authorize the town manager to sign the Labella contract. Mr. Davis?
Mayor, members of council, this is our consulting firm that handles our closed landfill, which has gas monitoring and groundwater monitoring. And until it's still in a closure phase, and so there will need to be some actual work to be done to put in an extra well for groundwater monitoring from some items from this previous year. So this is just allowing me and them to do work on behalf of the town for another year.
I'm curious in regards to that, as far as this has been ongoing ever since I've been on council, which is a long time. My question is there ever an end in sight with this, or is this something that's going to stay with us forever?
We'll always be responsible. However, there is another step for us. So it is a closed, there is a term for it that we're currently, and it's not coming to me, that we have made it to. However, there's another one that we would get another permit from DEQ to where we don't have to, we still have to monitor it, but we don't have to report as often. And so part of that is we have to meet gas, not have any gas issues. I think it's 2 consecutive years. And then we also have to make sure our groundwater. And right now, our groundwater monitoring, that's why we need another well in order to try to get to that point. You're probably still looking at a minimum of 5 more years before we can even potentially probably get to that point of seeking that the next step with DEQ.
We've been, as Mr. Parrott said, we've been talking about this ever since I came on council in '98, and I see that it actually closed in '94. The previous consultants, I think, were B&B.
But then Labella took over for Joyce. You had Joyce Engineering after B&B, and Labella, I believe, bought Joyce Engineering.
Yeah,
so you've had
curious.
2 different consultants.
Right, but we didn't change. They just got bought out.
Correct.
They just got bought out.
B&B, no, but they bought out the next one you had, which was Joyce Engineering.
Right.
Labella.
I mean, I remember periodically this discussion, and it seemed like the answer was always, this is probably going to be going on forever. Okay, I need a motion.
I make a motion we authorize the town manager to sign the contract with Labella.
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mr. Hunter,
Yes.
Mr. Parrott,
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mrs. Amos,
Yes.
Mr. Cole,
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer.
Yes.
On a unanimous vote, the request to authorize the town manager to sign the Labella professional consulting contract has passed.
Thank you. The next item is request authorization to transfer funds. Ms. Seal.
Yes, sir. We have 2 requests. In the budget, under contingency, you budgeted $6,000 for curb and gutter forms, and we're asking to transfer up to $4,000. Want to get 120 feet of sidewalk forms, but the way the price of metal is, we're just going to give us a little cushion in case, the prices go up pretty much daily. So we would need $4,000 out of contingency for the curb and gutter. And you budgeted $26,950 for the emergency services grant. That came in at $24,827.22 to purchase 2 smart boards for $11,002 and 7 laptops at $13,825. So I would just need an approval from y'all to transfer those 2 line items. One into the street maintenance department and the other into the town manager's department.
Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we transfer the funds.
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk?
Mr. Cole,
Yes.
Mr. Dwyer,
Yes.
Mr. Hunter,
Yes.
Mr. Parrott,
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mrs. Amos.
yes,
On a unanimous vote, the request to authorize the treasurer to transfer the funds has passed.
Thank you. Next item is comments by the town manager and town staff. Mr. Davis?
Just an update for next week for your regular meeting. You'll have the budget to be passed for the next fiscal year. You'll also have the capital improvement program, which you've been provided to approve. Also, every year, if you remember, the pay and classification plan would need to be agreed to by council. And then have a few other contracts that'll be up for that meeting as well. Hopefully relatively short meeting as well for you all next week. A little update on the positions. So Director of Finance has been out for several weeks, 3 weeks, I believe it's been. We have 3 total applicants so far. Not exactly the return that we were hoping for yet. So we're going to keep it open, and I'll be reviewing the 3 that have come in that our HR consultants will provide me. Once again, we'll get with the personnel committee if it comes to any that need to be interviewed. We're the end of this week, the recreation director position should be out, and then we'll move towards the director of community development position. That's all I have right now.
Any update on 4th of July activities?
I have reached out to a fireworks provider that we've used before and still have not received any return. So I'm going to continue to try, and still working with the county. They county administrator, as I said, I think last time, a few weeks ago, would be taking it to the board and see if they're in agreement.
Thank you. Any other staff? Chief, you want anything about your recent developments with the arrest you've made?
The only thing I have, Mayor, Council, is last Friday evening, we've been working relentlessly with U.S. Marshal Service on the shootings that occurred on South Virginia Street. The main suspect that we were looking for, the Brown subject, they were able to locate him in Buckingham County. He was taken into custody, but he's very belligerent and not cooperating at all at this point. The case is still under investigation. We've still got a long ways to go. We feel there are several more involved, and we're just trying to identify these subjects at this time.
You want to update on your staffing situation as well, where you are with recruiting and replacement?
Right now, I still have 2 positions that remain open within the department. Recently just hired 2 non-certified officers that will start the academy on June 15th. And June 16th, I have one that will be coming out of the academy that will come back and start FTO. So we're hoping to do a hiring process. I'm trying to leave it open until 1st of July and come up with something to try to recruit a couple of certified officers.
Any questions anybody has of Chief while we have him? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything around the table? Mr. Davis, anything else? Well, this is a record, and we'll take it. So what we will do is we will recess this meeting versus adjourn, and then we will reconvene at the Pefia Gym at noon for a joint meeting with the Prince Edward Board of Supervisors.
And that won't be televised, by the way. It'd be very difficult for that to occur.
Okay, well, I'll just recess the meeting. I'll just recess this meeting and reconvene at noon at Pefia.